Hello, hello. So today we are going to have a new topic, a new societal topic. So the topic is, do white women prefer black, um, Asian, white or Hispanic? And do Latina women prefer black, white, Asian, or like Hispanic? And do black women prefer black, white, Asian, Hispanic? So basically, we're gonna see every race and we're gonna see what they prefer. Usually, people will say you prefer your race, but sometimes it can be different because lately I've been seeing a lot of different interracial couple. So we're gonna see what they say about it. Let's share and see what they say. Okay, so let's see. Let's start. No, so here we're gonna say, do white women we're gonna base our study on the woman, but we're gonna see a little bit a fibroid barnacles. So the white women prefer black men. Let's say black men. Okay, to white women. So we're not gonna do Asian because I don't think they have like they're the less so Asian people are the less likely to date outside of their race. So they like their women better. They like Asian on Asian way better. So these we're gonna not gonna do. We're just gonna do white, black, and Hispanic. So do black white women prefer Latinos? Do white women do do white women prefer white men? Man, qui a dit that? So now let's see do black woman. Why is so loud? Do black woman prefer white men? Do black woman prefer Latino? No. Do do black women prefer um black men? So for what I've heard, I've been on one forum and I asked the question, do white women or Latinas prefer prefer white men? No. What is the preference? So for example, do Latina prefer what is the preference for Latina or white woman? And basically they said, oh, Latinas prefer Latino because they look like their father. They go for somebody that look like their father. So yes. Let's do for Latina. Do Latinas prefer Latinos? Okay. Do Latina prefer black men? Do Latina prefer white men? Okay, so let's start with the do white women prefer black men? So I've seen a lot of interracial dating lately. Let's see if it matches the what's the internet says. So let's start with this one, Reddit. I'm a black woman, so they say why black women are less likely to be attracted to white men than black men are. to be attracted to white women. She said, I'm a black woman and I wonder about this. I've always been in an area that has a low black population and will not and we note that I do think, based upon observation, that a black woman who lives in an area with a low black population is likely to be more open to date white men than a black woman who lives in the area with high black population will be. But even with that being said, as someone who lives in an area that doesn't have a terribly high black population, it is rare for me to see black men dating and married to black women here. When I was in high school, black boys seeking out white girl was a thing. I received a lot more attention when I walked around in an area that has a higher black population than I do in my own city. I've met black women who grew up here that still have a preference for black men. As I've grown older, I've realized I have a preference for black men even though I haven't moved. But I can't say I've met many black men who grew up in the same area who prefer black women. So why is that? I understand that everyone growing up, and what you see in the media are factors, but as a black woman, I'm wondering myself, why am I not very attracted to white men and like I was for a time in middle school? So they say black women are the least likely to marry outside of their race. The marriage between white men and black women have some of the lowest divorce rate though, it is interesting. The exact opposite is true of white women and black men, possible because they are more common, but I don't know. Yes, you see more people, you see more like um black men, white women like around you. It's a thing to have interracial babies. It's a thing. So. Oh, there's something that's very interesting too. So, as an Arab, do you identify as white or pass as white? That's interesting. Let's see that. I know it's yes, little to do with what we're seeing now, but I want to see. So he says, I'm an American, and some of my Arab friends over here look past identify as white. Fun fact is the in the US census Arabs are white. How did that happen and why? What do you think about it? So Arab ethnicity is in many ways detached from race. In a sense, it is understood in the US. Some Arab pass for and look white, some for black, and most look like what you expect when you think of people from Western Asia. Although most Arab identify as white, especially given the current political climate, I sure don't. All it came to be racism and attempting to survive during the 19s, 20s, many people who we consider to be white today were still advocating for themselves to be considered white. Italian, Polish people, and other Eastern European. So they could have access to better resources in their life in the US. I've successfully got the designation as white and it's stuck. So basically, it's like I'm half, so he said, I'm half Egyptian and half white. I guess I could pass as white. I've been told I'm ethnically ambiguous, but I absolutely do not identify as white. I always mark other on form that ask for my race. So, basically, it's like this thing for of ethnicity and race. So it's like, do Latinos can be considered as white. So the thing of Arab is like there are black Arabs and there are white Arabs. So do the black Arabs, the dark skinned Arab, so they're dark skinned Arabs and they're light skinned Arabs. So will the light skinned Arabs, the dark skinned Arabs pass as white too? That's the thing, when they say a race is white. So they say be say Arab is white. Will the dark skinned Arabs pass as white too? And for the Latinos, there's like Afro Latinos. Will the Afro Latinos pass as white too? I'm not sure about that. Mm. Okay, do white women prefer Latinos? Are white girl attracted to Latino men? Let's see. Continue to read. Continue to read it. So I'm a white woman in Texas, and I've been romantically interested in several outstanding guys. I think they can be just as hot as other white guys. Culturally, there can be some issues for me, for my personal preference. I think that here in Texas, some Mexican guys have been raised under super traditional values, expect women to cook and clean for them, have overbearing mothers that spoil them too much, and are a bit Catholic for my taste, a bit too Catholic for my taste. But none of those things are true for all Hispanic and all Mexican. I evaluate each man on a case to case basis. I have a lot of white girlfriend that are into Hispanic guys too. Maybe not exclusive, but it's definitely not a deterrent. So I find that in my search, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, the best race to date is Hispanic, is Latinos." So maybe it excludes Mexican because sometimes Mexican are not seen to be the most attractive Latinos. It's like most likely the Puerto Rican, the Dominican, the Cuban, and things of the sort. So yes, I've seen that, and in my search, I've seen that a lot of people were very much saying that women are most likely attracted to Latinos. So let's keep going. Do white women for what I know why. So women prefer white men and why. So she said, I'm Asian, specifically Vietnamese, and I've never dated I never had a preference of race. I've dated white, black, Hispanic, and Asian men, including stuffed because for some reason people think I don't like South Asian men, so like Indian. I ended up marrying a half white and half Asian guy. My husband did tell me that before he met me, he had a hard time dating Asian American women. They will always say they strongly prefer a guy who is fully white. I genuinely don't understand this. My mother-in-law is Asian and only dates white guys. Yeah. I asked her once why she will only go for white men. She said it's because she sees Asian men as super sexist and most likely to be abusive. The irony is that her first husband, who is white, was physically abusing and cheating on her multiple times. So yeah. So yeah. So there's a lot of different like life updates and life experience women dating. Do black women prefer white men? Let's see this video. 潜在意識、量子論、スピリチュアルを学んだ。でも何も現実が変わらない。There's a new look of love we're seeing more and more these days. From entertainment to red carpets to the Supreme Court. He's been the best husband, father, and friend I could ever imagine. Take a look at all of these women. What do they have in common? Black women dating and in many cases marrying white men. 27-year-old Charity Lawson might just be the next high-profile Black woman with a white husband. The star of ABC's The Bachelorette is looking for love on season 20 of the dating competition. Only 9 of her 25 suitors are Black. She recently sat down with our Kennedy Rue to discuss finding love across the color line. I will say, like, I probably did have a type, like, obviously when I was a lot younger, and I think that's just like what your environment is, like, that's who you're around. But like, as I've gotten older, as I've gotten to know myself, it's like, I don't like to say that I have a type because I connect with people for who they are, their personalities, what they exude as a person, their characteristics. But that's what stands out to me. And that doesn't determine based off of your race. Charity is the 4th Black bachelorette. 2 of the 3 before her ended up choosing white men. But Black women with white men isn't just the stuff of Hollywood. It's a trend that's growing in real life, too. In 1980, 3% of Black women were married to white men. Today, that number is 4 times that at 12%. Black women really do love Black men.
As a group, Black women have been the slowest to dip their toes into the interracial dating pool, one of the most racially loyal when it comes to relationships. I don't care what nobody says. When a Black man loves you. But now they are diving in.
I think they have a problem when it comes to Black women having interracial relationships. I would argue that when Black women are seen as deviating from I want to have like quotes here, like upholding the Black family structure, that is received differently than when Black men do it.
Historically, interracial dating in the Black community meant Black men dating white women, Black men twice as likely to have a spouse of another race. So much so that it became a cliche. But more and more Black women have been facing a dilemma. They're the most educated group in the country and also the most likely to be unpartnered at a staggering 62%. When it comes to their prospective partners, Black men are less likely than sisters to have completed high school or received a college degree. So Black women are 53% less likely to marry a man with advanced degrees. 1 out of every 6 Black men between 25 and 54 have disappeared from daily life. Incarceration and early deaths, the main drivers behind their absence, leading many Black women to expand their horizons. Would you date a bus driver? Would you date?
If he owns the bus, if he owns it. So if you're then looking for a partner who you see as your equal and you're including education and income level in your determination of who's your quote unquote equal, then it makes like logical sense. You might also be in spaces and environments that are predominantly white.
For many Black women, it isn't about lack or problems with Black men, but about expanding options.
I don't think it's a Black man, white man. I think just people overall need to treat people how they want to be treated.
All love themselves. Interracial marriage has only been legal for 55 years. A Black woman and her white husband breaking that barrier.
I'm gonna build you a house. Right here. Our house.
The 2016 film Loving depicted the story of Mildred and Richard Loving.
In here? You went in bed with that woman.
In 1958, the couple was sentenced to a year in prison for marrying each other. They appealed their conviction all the way to the Supreme Court.
You realize this case could alter the Constitution of the United States.
And in June 1967, the court issued a unanimous decision overturning their convictions and making interracial marriage legal. But the history of Black women and white men hasn't always been so loving.
I made a choice, Mama. The same choice you made with Master Wales. I didn't have no choice.
For centuries, an untold number of enslaved Black women were raped and abused by their white enslavers, who viewed them as property. Today, these relationships still have their challenges.
Black folks don't really have a good relationship with boats.
That's very true, or water.
Kind of like Jews with trains, right?
Bingo.
Saying.
Are you trying to compare the Holocaust to slavery?
Dr. Vanessa Gonlin is an assistant professor at the University of Georgia who did a study on Black women who date white men and the challenges they face.
Comfortable conversation.
You ever figure out what happened with the ETA on this?
Most of the judgment comes from Black men and white women. So one of my interviewees said she was literally walking down the street with her white partner, and a Black man called at her, "Come back home, sister." And it stood out to me because, first of all, it's an example of a Black man saying, like, I'm not happy with this dynamic, but it's deeper than that because he's saying, "Come back home," as if she's lost her way, as if she's disconnected from her community, as if like she is further distanced from Blackness. And then when it was white women who showed discontent, usually it would be white women who were the mothers or the ex-wives or ex-girlfriends of the white male partner. So someone much closer to the relationship, which then meant that they had a different amount of power. So for example, there's one Black woman whose white male partner had a white ex-wife, and she said, "You cannot see our kids anymore. You continue dating that N-word."
Despite the challenges, for an increasing number of Black women, following their heart is still the best option.
I mean, obviously it's 2023, so right. We have just I can't even say like get over it, but it's like that's really what it is. It's like get over it. This is where we are at. And all I can wish and pray is that like hopefully at some point in their lives, like their eyes are open to what really is love.
What's your advice to other Black women about exploring their options?
Yeah. My advice is just truly stay open. I think the most important point is truly just knowing yourself.
Yeah.
Knowing what you want. Love at the end of the day, love is love.
So let's see what race like us the most.
ウェブデザイナーと制作会社のために開発された次世代のウェブ制作プラットフォーム、Wix スタジオ。
Okay, so
Like us Black women, you know?
I'm gonna go right into it. A couple days ago, I posted a poll question on my YouTube community page, and I asked the question, what race of men is most likely to approach you or who you've had experiences with since we've started having these conversations? I gave the choice of white, Hispanic, Middle Eastern, and Asian and Native American. The results may shock you. They do not shock me. But the results may shock you that 70% of 1,000 people who voted on that poll said it was white men. And that's really interesting. And I have a confession to make, you guys. I have to be honest with you. I do have a confession to make. When I wrote the book Swirling, How to Date, Mate, and Relate, Mixing Race, Culture, and Creed, I said, you need to date everybody. Expand your options. It's a numbers game. Okay, ladies, Black women, we know what the issues are. We know we outnumber Black men by the millions. We know we have a specific group of relationship challenges that cause us to have to make certain decisions about relationships.
So yeah.
So expanding your options just makes common sense.
It was white, then it was Hispanic, then it was Asian, and after Native American. So if you have a type, like it's perfect because as Black women, we should not stop ourselves from dating only Black men when they date majority interracially. See,
Do you guys talk about race within your friendship?
even interracial friendship, like how does it work? How do you stay friends with somebody that's not of your race, you know?
Yeah. Well, it may not have even been something that I thought that was important to have because I just looked at her as like my friend and not like my Black friend.
Sometimes if I don't see you as the Black friend, I see you as the friend. I miss opportunities to ask about your genuine experience.
Yes, we can't walk around blindly thinking we don't see color. We're reminded of color by the time we wake up. It's the time to go to bed.
And even I remember one of your cousins at one of your parties that came up to me. But she came and she's like, oh, I'm the whitest person in here.
I think especially white women want to get it right. We were like told to be perfect. Like we're such a, they're.
Yeah. So let's see, do what Black women prefer Latino? Do Black women like Hispanic Latino? Okay. Without a question, yes, especially Mexicanos. This nationality is dominant here in Texas. I've been with other races, nationality to compare. Culturally, gender roles are there for the most part, and men 9 times out of 10 provide and take care of their family. Chivalry is not dead for them either. They're muy romantico, so much romantic, very romantic. And when it comes to sex, lol, yeah, it said that comes like coming, like they're good at sex. So we all know sex starts with the mind, and they definitely know how to simulate you mentally before they even proceed to touch you and get physical. But when they do get physical, I just me, oh mon dieu, oh god, be prepared to have some of the best orgasm in your life. They know how to give you that deep passion love. To all my Mexican and Latino kings, keep doing what you have my heart in Chucha. Well, so yeah. Do Black women prefer Black men? Okay, so we are saying why dark-skinned women, dark-skinned black girls like me aren't getting married. So let's see. I accept. Black women in the US marry less than others. The number are even lower for dark-skinned black women. Is reason for favoring lighter skin to blame? Dream McClinton puts herself on the line to report. I take a deep breath and read my finger. I admonish, uh, so I let myself get low myself for being treated theatrically be about something so mundane. Another deep breath. Here we go. I'm mutter, pressing enter. My movie has been created. It seems simple enough. Swipe left to dismiss, swipe to express interest. The first eligible bachelor appeared not my type, I swipe left. Then another follows, too young, I swipe left. Then swipe in, I find myself texting my elder sister. This was a bad idea. A feeling of vexation settled over me. I didn't think I would ever have to use a dating app, but men don't talk to me any other way. I've spent so much time trying to understand what is so unattractive about me that men shun me. At first, I thought it was because I was intimidating, a word I've heard used to describe me. For a while, I concluded I was not that interesting. And then I but when she writes, she's very interesting. And then I subsequently used as my biography on social media. But this inspiration won't do. The real issue is staring me right in the face, my deep mahogany skin. Colorism, the prejudice based on skin tone, has stunted the romantic lives of millions of dark-skinned black women, including me. We are not valued as our lighter skinned counterpart when seeking a romantic partner. Our dating pool constricted because of something as arbitrary as shoe size. So yes, she having difficulty getting to date because she is black. So survey of Hispanic and Latin American found that the vast majority prefer other terms such as Latino. Oh yeah. Uh, okay. So do Latina prefer black men? Yeah, it said it is common for Latinos to date black men. Depends a bit. I think Latinas from Puerto Rico and Cuba come from society which are more mixed and therefore much more open to the idea. It also depends on geography. Where I live, almost every brother I know dates is married or has kids with a Latina. Because so when you say brother, you talk about black men. Because there are not a lot of black women here, all my kids' friends are of color are mixed. I got the same question, but I'm deep south, so in the south of America. So I really wanna know my chances because I'm starting to lose hope, honestly, because I talk to and know some Mexican women, but none of them have ever dated a black man. So I'm curious what's the real percentage of black and brown relationships as far as black men and Mexican men go in the southern U US. So for black guys that especially want to date interracially, I would say in my personal experience, mestiza, so white and Spaniard Latinas are most likely to give a black guy a chance. Obviously, there are Afro mulattas, so black and white, and black only two that will as well more so. So do Latina prefer white guys? Do Latina like white guys? Um, I've been married to a Latina for more than 30 years, and I can honestly say no, they don't. Okay. I'm sure I don't see why not. Everyone different as a preference. Yep, I'm married to a Colombian Mexican, so I'm pasty white, also Jewish, so I'm not Anglo-Saxon. Anyways, yeah, Latina loves white men. I went out with many of them in a day. From what I've seen, a lot of them do like white guys, especially tall white guys with colored eyes, lighter features. on paper at least. They also like to the stability, peace of mind white guys tend to bring. But they often complain about the white guys lacking assertiveness, lacking patience, being bland, and not being able to dance. So, or as they put it, they are beautiful to look, but like seasoning. Seriously, learn how to dance. So yeah, they do like them, but the culture gap becomes a problem sometimes. This is for South America, Caribbean. I have no idea about how things are in the States. So my wife is Cuban, and I'm really crossing my fingers that she's into me. She's your wife, she's probably into you. Latin America does have issue with Eurocentric beauty standard in detriment to their black and indigenous population. Also, some Latinas American are white, even with the wasp look. I think it is the same with the Latino community, if that's what you meant. So yeah. So now I think the video is over. I'm about to post it online. Make your own decision based on what I said, and in the comments, like be be ready to respond to this, you know? Okay, have a good day.